Our interviewee was Rob Rotter, the sheriff of Iowa County. We interviewed him at Marengo County at Sheriff's Office, and his government role is to manage departments that are in charge of protecting people and property and maintaining order.
So Rob's perspective on like roles and responsibility of the citizen in government for like the government, his perspective was that people pay for a service. It could be as simple as like unlocking a car, finding lost dogs and cats, or even like investigating murders. And then for citizens, he was like, it was about like working together. Everyone has to help each other out, and there's no difference between each other if you were citizens and or if you had a badge, you just had to help each other out.
For question one, the local government limits his sheriff's actions. He mainly brought up how you have to be careful in public, and because the sheriff's department is running all the time, he has to take in for consideration how the public views him, and he has to wear that title all the time.
And our reaction to that was we as people, we should probably think about how we are out in public all the time, and just overall our almost like the public's opinion of us. And for question two, he became a sheriff because he always knew from a young age. He played with police cars. He watched those cop shows, and in college he mentioned how he changed majors to business, and then like later like didn't like that, and it's just like he always like wanted to be a cop or a sheriff, and he achieved that.
I know when I was a child and said I wanted to be a fire person. I'm a senior right now. Eventually, I came to the train of thought that I want to be an eye surgeon. So it's kind of cool how he stuck with his child aspirations.
Yeah.
For question three, he said a typical day as a sheriff would look like patrolling in the morning, like keeping an eye on the school and traffic, making sure everything's safe. He would come into the office, read reports, reject them by sending them back online or approve them. And he would deal with personnel issues. So if deputies were fighting, he would deal with that. And he overall would be more involved in law enforcement than what a deputy would be.
Mm-hmm. And it seemed like super in depth. He said like they ran like 12-hour days, and this is like his typical day. That's like on the shift, but he's always the sheriff. So there's a lot to it, and it's really involved on how his role is. It's for question four. He said that like for a higher up at the state level, he's like there's no higher position in Iowa, and just like because we have no state police, and if like he and the governor were in the same county, that he would have like the higher power, like the power of the county or something like that.
Yep, the Pounder County. I remember him saying that whatever the sheriff sees that can be done, he can do, and that's just bringing up how there's no higher power. That's only the sheriff and the government.
Yep.
So, another question we asked him was, what crimes or offenses do you see becoming more popular? And he brought up how adults are calling 911 over idiotic social media disputes, which is very childish.
And yeah, it's like he mentioned how it was a playground, but like with adults and social media. And our reaction to that was like, well, it's like, oh yeah, that happens a lot, but it's like we didn't expect that to be like the number one thing.
You would think your neighbors would be complaining, but apparently it's more social media based.
Yeah. So my personal opinion for role and responsibilities of the citizen government was government should protect the citizens' rights, and then citizens stay informed and stay involved in government, and then both like check and balance each other out.
Yep. And I believe that a community, for it to succeed, they need to work together. And for a government must be built purely off of modern citizen beliefs, and that'll make the government more trustworthy.
And then for like the value of this experience in general and the interview with the sheriff, it was just extremely valuable to see some local government in movement, and then like meeting like a high level sheriff who has like a great relationship with the community. He's just like a super nice guy, and just like good to know that we have those type of people in government.
And his spiel about how he needs to stay professional in a public setting really makes me think I'm not just a school attendant, or once I become a doctor, I need to act professional, because it's not acceptable to act that kind of way inappropriately in a public setting, because it'll affect me as a person in my job.